Hi everyone, welcome back to the 2021 school year. This is a crazy school year, but I'm going to try to walk you through this PowerPoint. If you have been an HWC, Health and Wellness Coordinator, or PAL, Physical Activity Leader, for a while now, a lot of this is review, although I will give you suggestions for how things might look different this year because of the pandemic. So let me go ahead and get us started on the PowerPoint. All right, so for those of you who are familiar with the health and wellness, school-based health and wellness committees, you know that the reason we have them is, of course, because it's mandated. But in addition to being mandated, our vision or our mission statement here is at the bottom. It's important for us to have healthy staff, to have healthy kids, because that's how they learn better. So just a reminder as we move forward. In your school, most schools have two folks. And that's what's recommended. I apologize to those of you whose principal only selected one of you. But you're either an HWC, a Health and Wellness Coordinator, or you're a PAL, a Physical Activity Leader. Typically, that HWC works with staff health and wellness, and the PAL works with student health and wellness. However, your school is able to divide up the jobs, the tasks, the responsibilities any way you wish. So you might both be working with both staff and students. Maybe it's flipped. Maybe your PAL works with staff and your HWC with students. It's completely up to you. This is just how the structure was initially set up. So what is it that you do as your school's health and wellness committee leaders? You should lead a committee at your school. Some committees might be 3 people. Some might be 16. It depends on what level of involvement and collaboration your principal wants to have. You work with your admin and your health and wellness committee to offer student opportunities for students and staff. You will write and implement the action plan, which I'll talk about in just a moment, and you'll work with myself, Tom Zimmer, the phys ed coordinator, and other central office staff. So people like Otis Collins for food service, or Dwayne Apt for Carefirst information sometimes, things like that. So how do you begin? When you go to write your action plan, it's important that you write the action plan with your school's goals and purposes in mind. If you just arbitrarily pick goals that don't apply to your school's needs, you're going to ultimately be a little less successful in your journey. So there is a scorecard that I'm going to click on here in just a second. Let's see if it pulls it up. Is technology working today? We shall see. Anyhow, oh, there it goes. So I'm also going to send this PowerPoint out to you guys. But remember that this school wellness scorecard is a great way for you and your committee to essentially assess where your school is. It has taken a ton of indicators and components from the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, and it has placed it into some main components. You can assess your particular school based on priority levels. So you would put in, for example, a 3 if that component is fully in place. You'd put in a 2 if your school has that component partially in place. A 1 if that component is under development within your school, or a 0 if it's not in place, and an NA if it's not applicable. And then, and here's where you'll actually see, this is where you assess. Well, then you're going to prioritize. So ideally, what you want to do is take the 0s and the 1s and prioritize them. What are our most important things that we really should be focusing on of those 0s and 1s? For me, 2s and 3s, I might not necessarily make a priority because those are already things that you all are doing well. So your categories are school policies, environment and staff, physical activities. Let me try to go back up here. It's a little slow today. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and let you explore that. Let me back that out. I'll let you explore that scorecard. You also need to look at your progress. Remember that on our school system's website, for the 18-19 school year, you will need to look at how your school ranked. You know, did they get an A, an A+, a B+, a B-, and that'll help you steer the direction as well. Also, there is an MWPPP Worcester report card, and this is our most recent update regarding where we fall as a county and what areas we as a county need to improve on. So that's also a great place to look for data to determine your 4 goals. Okay, so just some places where you can pick information that will help steer you. Again, your action plan should be 4 goals, and they should be SMART goals. Now, we're going to have to think about out-of-the-box ideas this year because we aren't all in place. Not all of our kids are here, and frankly, everyone is sick of screen time, right? So it's going to be hard to implement wellness ideas that don't include some kind of internet or some kind of virtual practice. So I want you to think about either how you can use the internet platform to move you forward or to maybe eliminate it altogether. So things like creating a social media page specifically for health and wellness at your school. That helps with like an awareness campaign, getting the word out for kids to be active, teachers to be active. You might have student art clubs after school that focus on mental or physical health. So you might have students creating posters, creating brochures, creating artwork that sends a message of mental or physical health. You might focus not on those types of things, but maybe on healthy meal clubs or discounts on gym memberships, things to actually get people physically active. And we may want to work with our SAD clubs and our mental health department to really focus on maybe some mental health advocacy projects, because those things are equally important. Linked in this PowerPoint is the action plan template. It has not changed, although it's got updated years. The action plan rubric. So if you're new to this process, how will your action plan be assessed? That is linked also to this PowerPoint. Remember that at the end of the school year, I'm going to be asking for one piece of documentation for each goal. So whether that is a photo from the event or a document that you might have created or the kids created, any of those things, we will still ask for one piece of evidence. Please have your action plan completed around October 16th. It should be emailed to me electronically. If you need an extension of that date, because I know that's only just over 2 weeks away, just ask for it. Let me know. Communicate with me if you feel like you need till the end of the month. I'm flexible, but I do need to make sure that we have it. In January, we'll have another Zoom or screencast or something where we can report out progress on that one pager that I give you. And at that time, if you feel like a goal isn't working and it needs to be changed or adjusted, you can do that. And then hopefully we will meet in June face-to-face again. Money, remember, we still have a stipend for this position. You can request to be paid or opt for 3 MSDE credits. You would need to submit paperwork to me at the end of the school year for those credits. The paid part gets a little sticky. It's an extra duty stipend, and it's typically listed as 1 per school. So if there are 2 of you, you need to work with your principal quietly to figure out how you can split that money. Or you can alternate years. So one of you can get the full, like $1,100 or $1,000 this year, and the other person can get it next year or something like that. So work with your principal on that extra duty pay position. Again, we don't have MOI money for this. I do try to look around for some partners that can help us with things sometimes. Carefirst said they're going to try to get us some goodies as much as possible. Carefirst credits. So let's talk about that. Even though you don't have MOI, you get $1,000 in Carefirst credits. Remember, it is not, and here in the PowerPoint is the 2021 request form and the wellness services guide. We have a new person this year. Her name is Ashley Freed. Unfortunately, Amy McGlinchey left us. But she will help you to try to be creative in spending that money. Please, please, please don't wait until the last minute. When we wait until April, May, or June, and we're trying to squeeze in all of these activities, it's very, very challenging. And if we don't spend our allotted money, there's a chance we lose it, because then our county government says, oh, well, they didn't need it because they didn't use it. So we do need to try to get those things booked ASAP. There are some other things during COVID that we might be able to use Carefirst to help us with. There is something called Share Care, and Ashley and I can do a tutorial with you on Zoom if you would like us to show you how to do that, and then maybe that's something you could do with your staff. It's through Carefirst. There are cooking demos we can do virtually. There's fitness classes virtually. You could do virtual walking clubs and 5Ks at your school. She'll help you be creative. So just a reminder that here are your folks to contact if you have questions. You know me and my extension. Mr. Zimmer is the new phys ed coordinator, so he took Ty Mills' place. So if you have questions directly about physical activity or physical education, you can contact Tom. Remember, Dr. Apt is our human resources supervisor, Otis Collins, food service, and Nicole Selby, student, family, and community connections. Parent involvement is a huge area we are lacking. So there may be ways that Nicole or even Lauren Williams, our mental health coordinator, might be able to help you with your plan or with some activities as well. I can't thank you guys enough for doing this. I don't know whether you volunteered or were voluntold. Either way, it's extremely important what you do. And I have to say that because you work so hard, Maryland is a model for the country in terms of health and wellness in our education system, and specifically Worcester is a model within our state, and that's because of you. It's because of the hard work you put in and how much you do to help keep our kids and our staff healthy. If we can't keep them healthy, we can't keep them learning. And if we can't keep our staff healthy, we can't keep them teaching. So I'm just really grateful for all that you do. Please call me anytime, email me if you have questions, and I look forward to receiving your action plans, and have a wonderful day. Just real quick about October 15th. It's a half day. It is for a paid sub if you need it. Some people said, I would prefer not to use the half day. I'd just rather do this on my planning or at night and be done with it. Others have said, I'd really like the half day because it gives me some kind of uninterrupted time to be able to sit down and focus on this. There's not going to be a Zoom or a meeting or anything. That half day is really just for you to work on the action plan. So if you choose to use the half day, please just shoot me an email, and that way I'll know how many people that I will have to pay for. Okay? So have a wonderful rest of the week, and I hope to see you in person really soon. Thanks.